Hi, mystery writers. I'm Zara Altair, and this is Mystery Fix, where we talk about all the details of writing your mystery. And today I want to talk about the suspects in your mystery. The more fleshed out they are and the more mysterious they are, the more they add mystery to your story. So let's take a look at that. You want them suspicious. You want them to challenge your sleuth. So the suspects are really the lifeblood of your mystery, and without them, your mystery sleuth would have no challenges and solve the mystery in an instant. So while evidence and clues and red herrings help your reader keep guessing, the suspects provide the personal interaction with your sleuth. And that interaction in the story world keeps your reader turning pages. It's that personal interactions that gets readers involved in your story. And the best way is to have your sleuth interact with these people, the characters in your story. So your challenge as a writer is to create characters that challenge your sleuth. It's that simple. Your detective must track down, examine, and determine each suspect's relationship to the victim. So each interaction with a suspect drives your sleuth and your reader toward that final solution. So how do you do that? How do you create suspects that, even if they aren't the murderer, at some point in the story, they're a suspect? Your sleuth is like, maybe this is the person. So each suspect has a relationship with the victim, and you can use that relationship to provide insight into the victim's world. And we've talked about that before, the victim's world. This helps bring your sleuth into that world that the sleuth doesn't know. But also each suspect has a private life. And that private life is what drives the interaction with your sleuth. So in your character Bible, where you're fleshing out your characters and keeping track of details that are going to enrich your story, you want to start, as far as the suspects are concerned, with how their life is related to the victim. How did they interact with the victim? What is that specific connection that makes them a suspect? Because somehow they're related to the murder victim. And then also you want to know what is their personal life that is not related to the victim. Without going into too much detail, that personal life can give you some of the reasons why that person may be suspicious. And then for each character, I do this in my novel planning stage. For each character, you give them a secret that they want to keep hidden. It may or may not be related to the victim. That's why you want to know about their personal life. And then also the lies that they tell to preserve those secrets. So each of those suspects has a secret, at least one, and they have the lies they construct to keep everybody, not just the sleuth, but to keep everyone from knowing what that secret is. And if you follow these steps, their life related to the victim, their personal life not related to the victim, the secrets that they keep from the world, and the lies that they tell to preserve those secrets, you already have a character that has some depth and is going to provide some challenges to your sleuth. So I know when I'm reading other people's stories, sometimes they have, a character like a thug or a hitman who's pretty much a thug. And that's about as much as you get. But if you give that thug some character, it gives it much more material for you to work with as a writer in creating your mystery and creating tension and creating inner relationships with your sleuth. And Adrian McKenty creates a memorable, layered hitman, Markov, in his novel Falling Glass. I highly recommend that book. It's just a wonderful read. So he has a relationship with a girlfriend, which stokes up his assignment because all of a sudden his girlfriend becomes so important that he wants to make this his last assignment. So give your suspects those problems. And then if you're writing psychological mysteries, authors like Ruth Rendell, Anne Cleves, and Elizabeth George build their mysteries on deep psychological character portrayals. So that's a special skill. That's not one of my skills, but it is something you can use so that every single character in the mystery has a lot of deep psychological traits that they want to hide or misrepresent. And that is one way you can do that. So even if you're not writing a psychological mystery, you build that reader engagement by delving into your characters. And because your sleuth is interacting with those suspects, the more readers see your characters hiding secrets, the more they engage in solving the mystery. So your sleuth works hard to uncover the secrets the suspects hide, and your readers will work just as hard as suspects throw up screens and hide personal secrets. And at this point, you create a lot of tension because your readers don't know if what they're doing is related to the murder or not. And neither does your sleuth. So the secrets your suspects harbor do not need to be related to the murder. And I mentioned this earlier and I'll mention it again. It just makes them more interesting characters. A suspect can appear suspicious by hiding a personal secret that doesn't relate to the victim or the murder. But meanwhile, we know that that suspect was somehow related to the victim. So it adds depth to your mystery. And the very act of attempting to hide a secret creates tension in your story. And tension keeps readers turning pages. So let me go over those 4 key elements for your suspects one more time. So you want to know how their life is related to the victim. You want to know a little bit about their personal life that's not related to the victim. So you're going to flesh out that person as a character. And then you want to know at least one secret that they want to keep hidden. And then the lies they tell to hide those secrets. So I think you're pretty familiar with a character who's, having an affair and it's been off on a rendezvous with their secret partner and they want to keep that hidden. That's a pretty standard, very very traditional, often used secret that is used in mysteries. I don't suggest you use that because it is pretty traditional, but just an example that I'm sure you're familiar with is how that all works together. So even though it's not directly related to the victim, it makes that character suspicious because they're hiding something, but you just don't know what the something is or why they're hiding it. And this gives you the ability to reveal that later on in the story. But your foundation is to know those 4 points of your suspect. So rich supporting characters give your readers an engaging experience in your mystery. And the obstacles that those suspects create for your sleuth are obstructive for the readers, and because they are trying to solve the mystery. Remember, mystery readers love puzzles. So the more you can make the pieces, including the suspects, appear to not fit, they don't fit in the puzzle quite correctly, the more you build tension and keep your readers engaged. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say about adding depth to your suspects. And those 4 simple steps are really going to help you walk through how they interact with your sleuth in the story. I know I am doing that right now in my current story that I'm working on, The Grain Merchant. I'm actually researching Hitler and Himmler's speeches because someone gets up and makes a very conservative speech calling for quite some severe action in the story. And I just wanted to get the wording right. So taking the time to get those dimensions for your characters is really going to help you create a mysterious mystery. All right, that's it for today, and thank you so much.